these are the best champions, and this is the order that they go in. Hey, welcome back to the channel. It's time for the February rankings. I know quite a few people have been asking about it. I wanted to take an extra week, get a little more time, especially with war season, and see some of these recently buffed champions in action. And I'm really impressed, and a lot of them have earned themselves some promotions. For those of you that are new to this and haven't seen this video before, it's going to look a little different than ones you've seen. And I've been doing this for, I think, about 6 or 7 months now. My whole intention is I want to simplify this. So many champions in this game are very usable and very, very good. And I just want to put them into tiers for you, right? Like, they are going to be ranked within their tiers. This game is so complex that Magic, as you see there, is sometimes going to be better than Doom. I just think Doom is in general a better champion, but they deserve to be grouped together. This is not intended to be a situation where I'm saying these are the best champions and this is the order that they go in. No, not at all. This game is way too complex for that, and there are way too many nodes and defender combinations for us to say that this champion is just flat out better. They've been put into tiers, and they are ranked in their tiers, but really pay more attention to what tier they're in. And this is also meant to be a snapshot. If you're thinking, hey, what does Vega think? Or what that dude with the weird hair, what does he think? You go here, you see this is in general what I think of them, and then you do your research. You go and you watch some other videos, hopefully you watch one of my videos, and then you play with the champion yourself and decide, do I like them? Do I enjoy playing with them? And you go from there. Also, there's only 5 columns. There's only 5. It's just the way it is. We're not going to talk about the last one. You can see it. Not necessary. Let's not be mean. There it is. Let's hope they get buffed. If you pull them, I'm sorry. Okay, we're going to go through and we're going to talk about the champions that have earned promotion. So we're going to move pretty quick because there's a lot of them. You see in the top shelf designation, the way you make it into top shelf is this. Let's say that you've just pulled a 5-star champion and you are so excited because they're great. You rank them all the way to rank 5. You even maybe awaken them and take them to SIG 200. You're really excited. You open up your next 6-star crystal and you pull the exact same champion. You ranked up your Doom, you took him to SIG 200, and you just pulled 6-star Doom. You're a little frustrated because you just ranked up the 5-star and used those resources on it, and maybe you would have rather used them on the 6-star. But ultimately, you're so pumped up that you got the 6-star Doom, you don't even care. After a few days, you know, the sting wears off, you're actually happy. That's top shelf. That's how you know a champion is top shelf. That's how you know. And I've had this happen to myself and to friends of mine, and they all agree, like, okay, yeah, Warlock is top shelf. I'm ultimately still happy to have the 6-star. So let's go ahead and move through them pretty quickly. Like I said, I'll talk about the ones who've had a rankings change. I think the first one we'll talk about is Professor X. I loved him. I was very early in on him, got him with his Apocalypse crystal, I believe it was. Loved him, put out some videos on him, and I thought, this guy is great. I wanted to put him in the top shelf at the time, but I didn't. I like to try to be a little conservative. It's much more fun to promote a champion than to demote them. And then I wasn't really using him in war, and it was in between time. Act 7 hadn't really come out yet. But then Barrowman, Agent X, Metal Sonic Dude started doing videos and really showed us a much better way to ramp up Professor X's damage, and without a doubt, he's top shelf. He deserves to be in it. And I think Mutant is one of the best examples, because there's so many of them in the top shelf, of how it's so hard to say that one is just better than the other. It's going to depend on the node. It's going to depend on the node and the defender. They're all great. They're all amazing. I want all of them as rank 3, 6 stars. So, you know, that's the order I tend to like them in, but really, they're all excellent. And anyone who says that one's better than the other, I think for the most part has a really legitimate reason for that. Let's go ahead and keep on scrolling. I don't think there's any other changes in the top shelf right now. Nope. All right, so let's move on to Super Premium. The Super Premium is this. The test for Super Premium is if someone says to me, like, in a vacuum, is this champion worthy of R3? And if I can just say, like, yes, they are, they believe they deserve to be in Super Premium. Same goes if it's taking them to rank 5 in a vacuum, knowing no other information about your account, where you're at. Yeah, they're worthy of it. That's how you make it into Super Premium. So the first champion we have on the list here is Strife. Strife is a tough one for me. He's a tough one for me. I pulled him myself very early as a 5-star, took him to rank 4, and then unfortunately I suffered a concussion, and I just didn't get to play the game that much for about 3 weeks. I had really looked forward to testing him. So I've placed him here. I can confidently say that he belongs here because of how well he handles that long form content. Cam talked about it. I think Legacy and Karate Mike both showed us live how great Strife can be in that long form content. And while that might only be one form of content, the rewards from it are so amazing and so helpful to an account that I think if a champion's that good in it, then they just deserve this on their own, right? I do realize the ramp up can be difficult. I realize he has no immunities. So I think the jury's still out on him. This feels like a very safe place. I can't ever see me pushing him down unless Kabam just takes Abyss away from the game and says we're never doing that long form content again. I'm very excited to dive into him. I maybe have some other reasons for it, and that'll come out in a week or two. But yeah, I really like Strife. I like in general what he can do. I like the idea of him. I like you not having to rely on Aegon. And based on your metrics, it appears as though in some ways he might even be superior to Aegon in some ways. Keep that in mind. Moving on to Immortal Abomination. This is a guy who I could see easily being ranked top shelf. I could see that happening in the next month or two, for sure. That's definitely his ceiling. It would make a lot of sense. He does massive poison damage. I'm sure you're aware of that if you're watching this video. Now, here's the thing though. And here's why, for me, I'm excited about this guy. I haven't fully decided, but I was genuinely considering using my 6-star Awakening gem on him, a generic. I think I'm not, because he's going to be coming out in the next 6-star featured crystal, and if I pull him, that will hurt. That will hurt. A generic, my only one. He is so incredibly well put together. It does take a little bit of time to get the damage going, but he's so well put together that the poisons he's applying to himself are increasing his physical resistance. Plus, you're applying a weakness to the attacker. So you want them hitting into you. They're not hitting as hard, and you have a higher resistance to it. It just fits well with him. Everything makes sense. It feels like there's a reason for all of his abilities. They fit well together. They flow well together. And if you've used him or you've seen a video of him, once he's there, he just melts a champion. It feels very similar to me to Archangel in the melting process, right? Also, I know some folks will say like, well, yeah, but you need the champion to be poison immune. Well, here's the thing. I love Archangel. I absolutely love him. I think it was Taters pointed out to me that at the time, 78% of the champions in the game were neither bleed nor poison immune. So they weren't immune to either. Meaning that on that base, Archangel was great. Great option for them. Okay. Well, even less champions, even more are going to be viable targets, victims for Immortal Abomination, right? So he's great. He's amazing. I don't really see that as, yeah, sure, don't go into, I guess, poison champions again with Immortal Abomination, but trust me, there's plenty of other non-poison immune champions for you to take out with your Immortal Abomination. Really excited. I could easily see him being moved up. We're going to continue to move on here. And, oh, 2 of the buffs. These are fun. Okay. So Falcon, it's taken a little while. I wanted to start off conservative with him, but I've seen him taking out war bosses, even unduped in my own BG. B Manny had a really cool fight like that. And then I believe it was Legacy. And I think even now Munash has taken them to rank 3. Check those out. If you're a doubter, if you've pulled Falcon or you're still holding on to the idea that he used to be really bad, and he did used to be really bad. This is a very different champion. This is a very different champion. Check out those videos. The ability to shut down ability accuracy by 100% is awesome. It's great. I mean, that's like that reliability that we're looking for. In today's version of the game, there's always that concern that the node or the champion will have like a plus 20 or something like that. So keep an eye out for that. But again, similar to Immortal Abomination still being amazing, even though there's a handful of champions that are poison immune, Falcon is still amazing, even though there's some champions that maybe have a plus ability accuracy. And he can get his damage going. And I believe it was Cam put out a video on his SIG ability and how well that scales and how important that is. So check those out. Mole Man. I had to go straight to the source on Mole Man. I don't have a 6-star Mole Man, and I had to go straight to the authority And so I connected with Karate Mike, and dude, he legitimately loves his Mole Man, and I think he's proving it in his videos. In fact, if you click the link there, it will take you to Mike's Mole Man video. Like I said, I want to get the best information out for everyone, and if you're here and you're looking at that and you're curious about Mole Man, I want you to go to the best video for it, and that's the best one I've seen. So, real quick synopsis of what Mike had to say, although I do want you to go watch that video if you're considering ranking up your Mole Man. Extremely strong bleeds, so great damage, some really excellent damage, and evade counter right out of the box. I love champions like that. That's part of what I love about Professor X. Very tanky. I love that. And then, of course, the unstoppable when you take a hit on block. It's allowing you to take like stun immune nodes or things like that. Anytime there's a champion that's a pain in the butt to fight on defense for a reason like that, remember, you can use that offensively too. You can use that to your advantage. I could see Mole Man being promoted as well. While I think Falcon's probably about at his ceiling, I could see Mole Man moving his way up this list, potentially into top shelf for sure. I think time will tell. This is a very fresh buff. Let's see how the meta continues to evolve and uses people find for him. All right, I'm going to speed this up a little bit. I can see we're taking some time here. So we're getting into premium. The designation for premium, here's how you get into premium is, the analogy I always use is well, let's change it up a little bit. You've walked into you're buying a new car. You're buying a new car and you really want this car, and you go to the dealership and you're like, I would like, this car right here. And they say, all right, sir, would you like this version or do you want the premium version? And you're like, oh, dude, I really want the premium version, but how expensive is that going to be? Right? That's premium. That's premium. This is a really good champion. In fact, they are probably even better than the base champion. I think you're genuinely excited when you pull this champion. They might not be able to handle as many things as the super premium and the top shelf. And if you're saying, hey, should I take this to rank 5 or to rank 3 as a 6-star, you might have to think about it, and you have to think about your roster and what content you have to do, but you at least are wondering. It's not crazy to think about it. There's people maybe you even know who've done it, right? So that's premium. That's what premium is. We'll move through this pretty fast here. I think as I'm looking out, there's 3 champions in premium. So all right, Mr. Fantastic. I believe KT1 is a fan. Mr. Fantastic, he talked about it in his latest science rankings. Check that out. And then DLL, if you're familiar with my channel, usually on there in the streams with me and like that. An incredible player, extremely smart. I was recently taking his to, I believe, rank 3, and showing me some videos of him doing some really cool stuff. Fun champion. I think maybe we just haven't dove into him that much for a variety of reasons, which, because of the length of this video, we don't have time to get into. But check out Mr. Fantastic. If you've pulled him, I think you might be excited. Really think about what he can do and look into that. Might have some real good uses for you. Kingpin. I have Kingpin at rank 3. What started off as kind of just like a fun video where I let a crystal decide if I was going to rank him up or not. He ended up getting ranked up. And then his buff is actually legitimately good. I think his buff is legitimately good. The only reason I don't have him in super premium yet is I think on his base, he's a really nice damage dealer. I think the way he works out, and they've allowed you to gain rage without getting hit, which is really nice. I think he's a real solid damage dealer, but his buff removal is only, I think, at 60%. I like 100%. That's what I like. And so that's, a little concerning, which means you can then bring in the Hood, which is, Hood's not bad. But you're bringing in a synergy partner. And so I think you have to start taking that into account. Now, here's the thing. He destroys lanes that put debuffs on you, though, when you have him and Hood, because he takes them and he turns them into attack power, which means more damage. And with Hood, it's 100%. So I could see him being moved up. I just don't want to put him in super premium now because, like I said, it is a lot more fun to promote someone than to demote someone. That being said, I did the Kingpin video, which I really enjoyed doing. I don't have it linked. I'll probably link this before I post the video in case you want to check it out. And he was destroying some lanes in 7.1. I mean, just destroying them. And then if you really want to add on, you want to go full Kingpin team, throw in Mr. Sinister, and you've got that power lock after they throw a special, the defender throws a special, and it is fun and it is effective. I really like it. It's a good time. I just don't think you need it. And so, yeah, take that for what it's worth. I do really like Kingpin. Like I said, the spreadsheet will be linked in the video's description, and I will link my video to Kingpin. Man, I'm not doing a good job of hyping my own videos here. Anyways, okay. And then Terrax, we'll keep moving through pretty quickly here with Terrax. I like Terrax. He's an interesting one for me. He's very fun. I think the buff was really good. Anything more, I would be really concerned about fighting Terrax more than I already am. I really like his immunities with the shock and the bleed. Remember, he's got those power manipulation immunities to metal champions, which kind of makes sense, right? With Cosmic and its relationship with tech, and that's normally where you'd see the power manipulations coming from a metal champion would be in the tech, of course. And then that power gain off of his SP2, I really like that. I like the ability to keep the armor breaks up with just a simple light attack. The negative for him, as far as an attacker concerned, and the reason why I don't have him even higher, is I feel like there's a lot to pay attention to in a fight. Because you're trying to refresh your armor breaks, and you do need to refresh them with a light. If you want to play that style where you're refreshing the SP2s and the power gains and hitting the heavy, you're trying to keep your bar power up at a certain place. But then you also need to pay attention to the defender's power. It might be a situation where as I play him more, I'll get more comfortable with that, and then I'll feel like maybe he should be promoted more. That being said, the power gain, break, those immunities, he's got a lot going on, even the indestructible there. So there's a lot in that guy's kit. I kind of feel very similarly with him as I do with Red Goblin and Arcus, where I think there's a lot going on there. I think as you maybe get better at them with your own situation and your own skill set and your skills with them, they may be deserving to be moved up a tier. In fact, if you have comments about them, I'm particularly interested in those three. If anyone watching has experience with those champions and really feels like they deserve to be up higher, I'd love to hear why. I really would. That's how I've learned a lot, and a lot of the champions have been had their ranks promoted or received promotions. And then I think we have just one last champion to talk about, which is our poor friend, Yellow Jacket. I think Yellow Jacket's one of those really good examples of like, this is going to be helpful to progressing players. I think they've taken a champion that was in the let's not be mean category, and they're like, all right, there's a use. And that's what call is. Sorry, folks. That's what call is. Call is you're calling your shot. You're like, I have a very specific use for this. The one I always like to use is, well, let's use Luke since we're there. You know, you're like, I need to go indestructible. I just have to do it. That's just what's needed. And you're like, I got Luke Cage. All right, Luke's coming in. Luke, you're coming off the bench. You're going to take this for us, right? He's a good champion. He's going to get it done. He's going to get it done for you. That's call. Or this is the baseline. This is the baseline minimum for, this is a usable champion that you will use in quests and can help you in your roster. So that's what this is. That's what call is. And I think Yellow Jacket fits that. Yeah, he got a little more complex. It seems like they upped his toughness, let's say, as a defender. I do want to dive into him a little bit more. I had taken mine to rank 2, so I'd like to play him and see if there's something we're missing there. It seems like the damage isn't so great, so maybe a lot of work for not a high payoff. But that's Yellow Jacket. And then the last thing I want to mention here is this. Well, you're not going to be able to see it, but we'll leave this here. If they can be made a horseman, because I know some of you are probably like, dude, has he not seen Horseman Wolverine or Horseman Cable? I have. Those are some of my favorite champions. I think Horseman Cable is one of the best champions in the game. But you got to have Apocalypse, right? Like, you've got to have Apocalypse. So, and I have it. It's just my head's blocking right there. But if they can be made a horseman, then they can be good. And I go check out videos on them before you rank them up, and make sure you have Apocalypse and you have them at whatever variety you need to have them so you can take him into the quest, right? But the whole point with the spreadsheet was to kind of keep it simple and a quick reference for folks. And then please use it as a really quick reference. Watch the video, do the comments. Let's treat this like we're, people talk about who the best quarterback of all time is or the best point guard. Like, this is a fun conversation. Let's have that conversation in the comments section. We're constantly having it in the Discord server and on the streams. It's a ton of fun. If you're looking for more information, please check out one of my videos, but if you don't want to, that's fine. And I don't have them for all the champions anyways. I can always confidently recommend the work of KT1, Lenham Taters, Cam MCoC, and of course, Karate Mike, who we talked about for the Mole Man video there. Thank you so much for watching. Really excited to hear your comments, read your comments, and find out what you think about what I got right and maybe got wrong. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. I hope you either learned something, were entertained, or even better, a little bit of both. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow on Twitter at Vega Gaming 583. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.